Hello, welcome back to another episode of Chess Tactics on chess.com. Gonna solve some tactics today and let's begin. So, I'm gonna guide you through my thought process. I've lately not been doing too well in puzzles on chess.com. As you can see, I've got more wrongs than correct. Hopefully, today that changes. Okay, let's start with the first position over here. Looks like I'm playing black, and this looks like some kind of opening which is definitely not gone right for white. And the first thing that comes to my mind is queen b6 check, simply because there's no proper way for him to block the check other than move his king to h1, after which knight f2 looks extremely tempting. So I'm going to go ahead and play queen b3 b6 check. It seems correct. And now just knight check, rook takes, I take, and okay, so we got the first one right. That's off to a good start. Let's keep going with more and more puzzles. Okay, this one seems like an end game, and there are tactics for sure lurking around. Now knight e7 would be great, except that the bishop covers that square, hence I can't get a fork just yet against his king and queen. So I need to switch my strategy and look for a way to attack the king. And the first move that comes to my mind is knight h6 check. But after knight h6 check, what if he goes king g7? Then I have queen takes f7 check. He takes my knight. Then bishop e3 check, and it all looks too good. I should have a mate over there, so I'm gonna go knight check. That's correct. Queen takes. Not correct. Now what did I miss over here? Okay, I think I know what I missed. Instead of queen takes f7 check, I can go queen f6 check first, and the point of this, I get a smaller tempo than I would with the queen takes f7. In fact, that might be a blunder because black might have a way out. The point of this is now I straight away go bishop e3 check followed by mate, and I should have spent a little more time to see that correctly because it was definitely solvable the first time. That's okay. Let's keep going on. Okay, position number 3. Last move by white is pawn d4, and the first idea that comes to my mind is attacking the queen, because I instantly recognize that this queen does not have too many squares to escape to. But how do I exactly trap the queen over here? Okay, I think I might have found the answer, which is simply knight h5. Knight h5, the point is the queen cannot escape anywhere, and I think I'm collecting that queen on the next move. I was thinking of bishop d6, but then he blocks with the move pawn f4, and after I do en passant, queen can take on f3 and the queen is safe. So I'm gonna go with knight h5, and yes, that's correct. I've trapped the queen and I got just 1 point because I took time to find that. Okay, let's go to the next one. King f8, and without question, there seems to be some kind of checkmate tactics lurking around somewhere. The first realistic way to start this attack would look to be queen h6 check. Let me do that. After queen h6 check, I can take h7 with check again. King goes up, and how do I want to finish this off? What about simply rook e7 followed by queen f7 mate? Will that work, or do I have something better? Okay, rook e7. If he tries to keep checking me, starting with rook d2, I can take with my bishop. He takes. Yeah, that should still be losing, I think, because I am going to get a rook and exchange if he tries to get desperate. But is there any way I can keep checking? I don't think so. So I'm going to go with rook e7, and yes, I'm correct. Apparently it does not matter if he plays rook d2 check because I can take, he takes, and then I have king h3, which might at the bare minimum give me an exchange up, if not still checkmate his black king pretty soon. going on to the next one, it looks like I'm playing black over here. And once again, this has to be related to checkmating the king, simply because I can see how weak this king is. The real question is, how do I attack the king? And maybe there are two good choices over here. The first one being f5 check, but when I go f5, his king escapes on d5. So the second choice is maybe rook d8, blocking the square first, and then preparing f5. But then if I play rook d8 first, he can play something like g4. No, if g4, then I have rook f4 mate. So yeah, this looks interesting. What if I start with f5? He has to go d7, and then this one is trickier than I thought. The point is, he should have no way to stop f5. I should make sure that if I start with rook d8, f5 cannot be played. If I go f5 first, king d5, rook d8 check, but then his king comes to c6. So what about king c7 first? But then I run into knight b5 check, and that's just going to be annoying. So I'm going to start with rook d8. And yes, that's correct, because now the puzzle continues, and I think a simple f5 should be checkmate. That's correct. So this was the correct solution to cut off the only escape square of the white king, followed with an f5 mate. Let's move on. Another endgame, and a lot of tactics can be seen, namely the black king is not so safe. The real question is, what would be the most appropriate way to actually win this endgame? Okay. Well, yeah, I think what if I just, for starters, take the knight? This pawn is pinned, so I can win back the queen. His bishop would be hanging after I remove the defender. That instantly looks good, but let me not get carried away. And what if I do knight a7 check first? His king goes to b8 and is attacking my knight. My knight may have to move, and that might become problematic because I don't get enough time to take the knight or take the bishop. So I'm going to play a forceful move. Yes, that's correct. Knight takes, queen takes knight. And now the point is, I don't take the queen just yet, but I think I should first take the bishop with check. And then when the king moves, I take the queen delivering mate. Fantastic. That's correct. And there was no escape for black over here. Okay. Another endgame type of puzzle. And it looks good for white for sure. The question is, how do I finish this? First idea that comes to my mind is a queen sacrifice. Queen takes g5, basically forcing the move knight takes queen, otherwise his king is getting checkmated. I'm winning material. Knight takes, rook takes g5 check. King, yes, king has to go to either f7 or f8, and then after that I should have something over there. I don't know what, but it looks correct for some reason. So the other approach I will look at is, I'll start with another move order and see if it makes sense. If rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and then I have absolutely no follow-up after that. I can't take the pawn, and it's going to be hard for me to get this knight to participate. If I take rook takes knight, king takes, rook takes pawn, I have a mate threat. That looks good. Rook takes knight, king takes. Okay, I think that just turned out to be better than my first solution, because the point of rook takes knight is that this pawn is undefended, and I'm capturing with tempo, so he has to recapture my rook back unless he wants to be a knight down. And if he recaptures, I have queen takes g5 followed by rook check, and that should be good. Let me do that. That seems correct. But now another move just came to my mind. I can play rook h1 check first. No, that cannot be correct because then he stops my check with his rook, and that's going to be a loss of time because I can't take the pawn. So I'm going to do queen takes, and now the point is I go check. This should be winning. Now queen g6 check, and the point is he can't take my queen because the rook is pinned. Once his king goes back, I take the rook with mate, and that should be not with mate, but but I win a free rook. His queen is going to be lost as well. Let's do one more for today, and then we'll wrap it up for the time being. Okay, this one seems very easy because I can straight away see an opportunity to capture the e7 pawn with my queen. His bishop cannot capture back because it's pinned, and this should be leading to a checkmate threat. I now can take a bishop for free, and yeah, that was pretty simple. Okay, so apart from one puzzle today, I got most of them right. I think I was a little bit quick on the second one, and if I spent a few more seconds, I'd have probably got that right. But I feel a lot more confident solving puzzles while talking because it really allows me to think out ideas thoroughly and apply the right concept at each type of position. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be sure to stream more puzzles and play some blitz and bullet from time to time on chess.com. Bye bye.